Alright guys, if you've clicked on this video, you clicked on it for two reasons. One, you're part of our community. I want to say thank you so much for being part of Southern Hike, all our new subscribers. We're so glad you're here. And the second reason is the title of this video. What is the first piece of gear I should upgrade? So a lot of people are in the point where they've gotten all their gear, they've gotten some good beginner gear, and trying to decide where they should start upgrading some of their gear, where they want to lose weight in their gear and kind of move to a more ultralight setup. You could be like me or also do a hybrid setup where you do some things ultralight, but you'd like to have your luxury items. So today I want to talk about what I think is one of the main things you could consider first if you have budgeted this piece of gear first. I'm Taylor and welcome to Southern Hike. Alright guys, so I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started buying all my gear years ago, I have always talked about in my previous videos, I do not sleep well on the ground. It is very difficult for me. So one of the main things when I really got into backpacking more kind of hardcore, I would say, or really wanted to get into it where I was doing it a lot, I knew that I really needed to invest a lot into a good sleeping pad. So I went ahead and spent a lot of money. At the time, I was like $160 for a sleeping pad. It was just crazy, especially when you see some of the prices like Walmart or some of the outdoor stores. I was like, there's just no way it's worth this kind of money. Well, I watched video after video, read review after review about how the Nemo tensor pad was one of the best on the market. It was worth the money and it would really get what you needed and come in at a great way to right around 16 ounces for their regular pad. So that's what I did. I right off the top bought the Nemo tensor pad. I actually did a video review on it over a year ago after I've used it a while, and I'll link it above. And I talk about how this pad has done really well for me, and then I just want to continue to use it. I still use it right now. This is it, the Nemo Tensor Regular. Now I want to say before I continue this video, I'm actually going to upgrade into the wide version of this. I have the regular, which is like 20 inches. And if you're a side sleeper, this can be a bit of a pain. I've seen a lot of other guys talk about this too, and I should have done that in the beginning. So I definitely want to upgrade to the wide version. It just hasn't something I've done yet. It's not that big of an issue, but I definitely want to do it. So that's basically what I want to talk about today. I'm keeping this video simple because I've got a couple other videos. We just did a couple backpacking trips, and I'm trying to edit those videos to get them out to y'all. We did it really good. I'm feeling a little soreness off a video or a trip we just did where I used the new Outdoor Vital Shadow Light backpack. So I'm excited to talk about how that pack did, and I'll definitely be doing a video on that also. So guys, this is my point is that if you're looking for a piece of gear you really want to upgrade first, my thoughts are you should always look at, if you're sleeping in a tent now, your pad. Or if you're sleeping in a hammock, do you want to upgrade your quilts? That's another thing to talk about too. But today I'm talking about the pad basically. And try to look around and see, is that really where your issue is? If it's not bad for you, then maybe you want to look at other pieces of gear. We'll do some other videos talking about those things too. But a pad, if you went cheap in the beginning, if yours is one of those, like Nemo has one of those, I can't remember the name of it, where it flexes up together. Those don't really offer much cushion. Or if you bought something at Walmart, or if you're just using a single inch or two, pad, that's gonna be an issue, honestly, especially when they bottom out. So guys, something I really say to look into is your pad, especially something around 3 inches. If you can hear my dog in the background, excuse, he's mad that he's in his crate right now. But you want to look into your pad and make sure that that's gonna be your best setup. Now, the big thing to look at too is R value. If you bought a cheaper pad in the beginning, you probably don't have much R value at all. I think the Nemo Tensor is right around a 3.5, which is pretty good for 20 to 30 degrees. Anything lower than that, you definitely want to go to a higher R value like a thermarest. That's another thing also to look into is the R value. So something like a summer one, maybe you don't want to have an R value because it's definitely going to heat you from the bottom and you don't want that. But the Nemo actually works as a 3-season pad. Now, I know this sounds like I'm actually promoting this pad. I'm not. I just use it as reference because it worked well for me. It's a really good 3-season pad, and I continue to use it. So I'm just talking about it as you're shopping around. This is a really good great option. I have found this worked well for me if you really want to upgrade. But make sure to check the R value. If you're a side sleeper, I definitely look into a wider pad. And then if you're not, then I think a 20-inch honestly would seem like my wife, she sleeps on her stomach or back, so a 20-inch works pretty well for her. And then like her, if she's shorter, you don't need as long a pad too. But try to also stick into something that's more about 3 inches. That way you don't have to deal with bottoming out so much. But I know for me, like if you want to stay more affordable, like the Climate one, I think it's the Climate Static pad. I'll make sure to link these above below. It's a more affordable pad. It's like $40, $50 on Amazon. It doesn't have much of an R value, but you can use that as one if you definitely want to step up if you're like a summer camper, things like that, and not worried about thermal capabilities as much. Now, if you want to upgrade to have like a 3-season, I would definitely look into something like the Nemo pads, the tensor pads. They're really good. And if you definitely want to go down for winter, then you're going to look at something like a Thermarest. Now, they make some really good pads, especially at high R value. Keep you warm during the winter, especially if you're using a quilt also. That's one of the main things I just want to keep this video at is look into your pad as one of your first upgrades. Honestly, to me, that's one of the most important things to me. That's just how I am. I know a lot of people out there, you know, worry about sleeping on the ground, especially if you're new to the whole business. When someone says they sleep on the ground, I'm like, I don't know how you're ever going to do that in any kind of cool temperatures. But, you know, some people are like that. If you want to stick to something like bushcraft or something like that, go do it. But anyways, so that's my thoughts. Look at your pad first. Now, if you're satisfied with your first pad you bought, or you did like I did and went ahead and bought a more expensive pad in the beginning, there's a lot of other areas we'll look into in the future, but definitely check out your pad as one of your first upgrades on your backpacking gear and also helping to get your weight down. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to be looking out. I'm actually going to be releasing a couple videos soon talking more about that satellite pack. I'm really excited with it. It's done really well, and I'll be talking about more of the pros and cons in some other videos, and also having some actual through hikes we just did and want to talk about those too, and just decided to give you all that content. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and join our community. We're happy with all the people that have joined recently. We're excited that you're here, and also make sure to hit the notification bell below. That way we will release a video just about every Tuesday. You're here for it. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button below. We'll see you next week.